SpaceX is planning a record-breaking $1.5 trillion initial public offering later this year. Yes, you heard me right, $1.5 trillion. If this pans out, it would easily be the largest IPO ever and would represent an 87.5% increase in value from the company's valuation just a couple months ago in December 2025. But the big question is, will this IPO actually pan out? Or will it turn into just another case of Elon being extremely overzealous? After all, this is the same guy who said he would put a man on Mars within 10 years back in 2011, and said that Teslas would be fully autonomous within 2 years back in 2015. Let's dive into the numbers behind the SpaceX IPO and how it could go down. Thank you for watching Pete Productions, and don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date on all things business, finance, and technology. According to two people familiar with the company's financials, SpaceX generated EBITDA of about $8 billion on just $15 to $16 billion in revenue.
Say that again?
That means the company's EBITDA margin is roughly 50%, which is pretty outstanding. Starlink made up the majority of SpaceX's revenue, accounting for about 50 to 80% of total revenue. Since 2019, the company has launched over 9,500 Starlink satellites to help power internet service for over 9 million customers. This has also helped SpaceX achieve the title of the world's largest satellite operator. This rapidly growing Starlink revenue stream, along with massive government contracts that I'm sure were achieved strictly through merit and had nothing to do with Elon's relationship with Trump, are the key reasons for SpaceX's hefty revenue figures. They are also the reason that SpaceX has grown so quickly in valuation, as the company was valued at just $800 billion during a secondary share sale in December 2025. According to Bloomberg and Reuters, the company is aiming to raise around $50 billion through this potential IPO that would occur sometime in mid-2026, most likely around Elon Musk's 55th birthday on June 28th. In an internal memo by SpaceX's CFO, it was revealed that the funds from the potential IPO would be used for funding an insane flight rate for its developmental Starship rocket, AI data centers in space, and a base on the moon. Yeah, that's right, the AI data center situation on Earth has become so crammed and expensive that SpaceX is turning to outer space to build their data centers. I say that as a joke, but I'm also not joking. Elon is actually going to try to make this a reality. The Starship rocket, which has been test launched 11 times since 2023, has the goal of eventually being used to launch space-based AI data centers, a risky and nascent pursuit. I mean, sure, why not? This is Elon we're talking about. He's always saying some off-the-wall stuff. Now, let's actually dissect his potential $1.5 trillion IPO by SpaceX. Using the figures of the leaked financials of the company, this IPO valuation would give SpaceX a revenue multiple of 97. In other words, SpaceX's valuation is 97 times more than that of their yearly revenue figure. That is an insane revenue multiple. For context, Tesla, which is commonly regarded as an extremely inflated and overpriced stock, trades at a revenue multiple of 15. But the great thing about being Elon is that all of this seemingly doesn't matter. He has an army of investors who will blindly invest into any of his companies. They don't care what the company is, they just have full faith in anything that Elon does. There's another word for what I'm describing, but I'm sure you already know what I'm talking about. And literally, as I'm writing this script, another factor in SpaceX's massive IPO made itself evident. SpaceX literally just announced that it was merging with xAI, Elon's AI company, in a deal that values xAI at $250 billion. It seems like anytime Elon's companies are losing money or he's just bored, he merges two of his companies to satisfy his private investors. But seriously though, in the official merger announcement on SpaceX's website, Elon confirmed that SpaceX will primarily be focused on creating orbital data centers, claiming that in the long term, space-based AI is the only way to scale data centers. Elon writes that SpaceX will launch a constellation of 1 million satellites that operate as orbital data centers. And my personal favorite sentence in the message, my estimate is that within 2 to 3 years, the lowest cost way to generate AI compute will be in space. Now, I'm really trying not to hate, but like I mentioned in the intro, any claim by Elon is not exactly always reliable. Nevertheless, this merger by SpaceX and xAI definitely makes SpaceX's $1.5 trillion IPO price tag make a lot more sense. The merger means that if you buy a share of SpaceX when it begins publicly trading, you will own a piece of SpaceX, xAI, and X, formerly Twitter. If you're one of Elon's diehard supporters, there's never been a better IPO for you to participate in. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date on all things business, finance, and technology.